Kind
That
of
is dramatic.
Cool. Right. Like I'm important or something.
You are important. Anyone who sits in that seat is important.
Yeah, I thought about asking us like to switch so I could be on that side just so it was different.
Oh. Well, I am gonna be on that side for my birthday episode.
Oh. Who's gonna do the interview?
Jose. Have you met
Awesome.
Jose?
I haven't.
Oh,
I've
okay.
not met him.
You guys should. Have you done any music videos?
I have linked up with a friend of mine who is Crazy Mike Productions,
Okay.
who he does a lot of photography, but he doesn't have any experience with music videos. And so I kind of got with him and let him do a video to the Shady 2.0 Cypher remix that I did.
Okay.
And that's out on his YouTube, Crazy Mike Productions. But I have not dived fully in to the music video yet. I really want to do it with Dead Wrong, which was a track I just did with Max Millie. It was just released. It's on Spotify, iTunes, Soundcloud, all that.
Nice. Cool. Well, welcome on. I always forget to formally introduce my guest. So today on the show we have Levi Deadman.
That's right.
Is Levi your real name, though?
Levi is my real name.
Ah,
yeah.
That'd be cool if Deadman was your last name.
It would be, but it wouldn't be as significant, right?
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
I used to go by Savage, and when I got released, I kind of came out and had like a rebirth. Like Deadman, to me, it has multiple meanings behind it because I do like to rap about horror scenes and things like that, but it also has to do with like the rebirth, like being reborn into a new person. And the old Savage has died and gone away, and now it's the new birth of the dead man, like a phoenix rising from the ashes.
I like that. So when did you change your name?
I decided to change it about a year into prison.
Alright, which brings us to our next topic. Alright. And may I ask how long you were in prison?
So, I did a total time of 2 years, 8 months. I think this time it was like 2 years and 2 months or something like that. I just got out February 5th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm fresh out, and I'm really excited to try to dive back into the music and get active again. And I've been hitting hard trying to find producers and studios to work with me. And,
good for you.
Trying to just stay active and reach out, and network, and get the connections back, and make waves, make noise.
Wow. You said 2.5 years?
Yeah, something like that.
Here in Texas?
Yeah, all over Texas.
Oh.
Rosharon, Huntsville, Cleveland.
Oh, you had to be transported?
Yeah, so I was in prison, so they just kind of move you wherever they want.
Okay. Wow. So, how does it feel back out? Like, are you kind of slowly adjusting? I mean, it's not that long, but it's still long enough to fuck with you mentally.
It's definitely long enough to change someone's entire outlook on life. Like, I got out and I was so excited, and I still find myself like driving so excited about something that I want to do or I need to do that I have to remind myself that it can wait till I get home. Like, I'm wanting to do 10 million things, and I'm trying to hit the ground running, and I have all these ideas, and it's just hard to put them all into place and to continuously work and strive to improve in one area, let alone the 3 areas or 4 that you're trying to work on.
Yeah. What are the other areas aside from music?
So aside from music, when I was incarcerated, I had the privilege of being involved with the prison entrepreneurship program. So I obtained a certificate from Baylor University in entrepreneurship, did a business plan competition, venture capital pitch, all that, and I came up with an idea for a skateboard company called Savage Society, kind of a play on the old name of Savage that I went by, and it just refers to our society in general, Savage Society. So Savage Society Skateboards is going to be a project that takes the artwork of felons, either incarcerated or previously incarcerated, and applies it on skateboards. But I don't think it has to be classified as skateboard art. Like, I want something rivaling like David's Starry Night, or just real unique artwork that doesn't have any classifications or boundaries.
That's dope.
In conjunction with the skateboards, I also want to do a skateboard display, because I think the skateboards are just the medium, right? So skateboarding is an art within itself, but in savage society, the skateboards are just the medium for the artwork. So it's like having a nice glass. You can drink out of it, but it looks better on the shelf. So I want to have the skateboard displays in conjunction, that a way you can hang it on the wall like you would a picture in a frame.
That's genius.
But instead of walking by this portrait or this picture in a frame every day, if you walk by it for years, it just loses that initial luster, right? Dust collects. But if you have it on a skateboard, then we can talk about it. I can grab it off the wall and hand it to you. You can feel it and interact with it. So that's one area that I'm working on, and I'm kind of upset with myself because I haven't been driving as hard on that as I should.
But you just got out.
Yeah, I know.
Baby steps.
Baby steps, yeah. So it's just one day at a time.
That's amazing, though. Did you find yourself like meeting a lot of artists when you were in prison?
Artists, no.
Oh, okay.
No. I met very few artists, but I did meet a million rappers. So everybody raps.
Makes sense.
Everybody raps in prison. It's a whole different world. It's a hobby. It's something to do. It's something that all these people were saying that they're rappers, but they've never released a song. And they're just rapping and rapping. And I heard some people, the prison system is full of people with immense talent. I'm talking about crazy talent, whether it be on the handball court, the basketball court, whether it be in art in terms of pencil on paper, painting, music, some people that can sing. I had the privilege to start like kind of an open mic spoken word rap night at the last unit I was at. So we actually came together and we had a room where we could go, and for an hour everybody could get up, do what they wanted in front of other inmates, and it was big. It was cool.
That's so cool. So do you guys like rap battle too?
No, there was never any battle. It wasn't like animosity. Of course everybody wants to one up each other. Everybody wants to be better than the next guy, and everybody thinks they're better than the next guy. But for me, it was just about seeing what was out there and having a platform to go, because I would spend days and hours reciting and practicing, and I tried to develop and change my style while I was there because I had the time. And I would stand in my cell and I would recite something for hours, and it also changed my approach to recording now, because I don't like to go into the studio unless I have something memorized. So I'll write a song and I'll live with it for a week, just doing it over and over, driving it to memory. And then once I have it to memory, I can play with it. The delivery, the breathing comes more naturally.
Makes sense.
It just sounds perfected. It before I would rush. So I'd go into the studio and we'd be drinking, having a good time, and I'd write something, and 5 minutes later we'd record it, and then we'd put it out, and it was like, all right, yeah, it was all right, it was cool. But it's kind of like people who go in and they freestyle in the booth. Some people are great at freestyling. I'm not. I can't freestyle. But even those people who are good at freestyling, I feel like if they were to just sit with it, or if they were to write, they would outdo themselves. And I think people sell themselves short a lot.
Yeah.
And I used to do that.
I could see that totally. And you're a fast rapper. I was like,
thank you.
I was listening to your stuff on SoundCloud and even your little clips on Instagram. I was like, holy shit. You probably get this comparison a lot with Eminem.
Sometimes Eminem, I hear Ritz lately a lot too. The review done on Dead Wrong compared my style to like Twista and Bone Thugs.
Ooh, yeah,
so
I can see that
was
too.
A great compliment. I put Dead Wrong into one of those live Facebook reviews, and somebody said Ritz for the Dead Wrong. I think that was more to do with the structure of the rap. So I've always wanted to rap fast, and before my last project, I spent probably over a year practicing, even to the point where when I was talking, I would try to roll my syllables together to where my delivery and speech would be faster. And I put out this project EFS, Escape from Society, and there was not one fast verse on it. There wasn't anything fast on it. And so it's been a process, because I was born in Houston, and so I started out like with the Paul Wall, all the
slow.
Yeah. And it kind of developed and changed and grew, and I've been practicing, and prison really afforded me the time to practice more rapid paced delivery, more like rhyming compound syllables, and I'm I'm not happy with it, right? I'm not where I want to be. I'm
Really?
far from where I want to be. Like, I was just listening to Ritz earlier, and I was like, man, it's amazing. The delivery, I think rap, maybe not rap, but I think lyricism and technical rapping is 90% delivery. It's all about how you say it. Because you can go and read somebody's lyrics, and you're like,
right.
He's not really, there's no multiple rhyme schemes. There's no, super complex rhymes, but the way that it's delivered just makes it sound so incredible.
Right.
It catches your ear.
I like the way that sorry if I sound very rap ignorant, but your bars, just the way that you emphasize certain words and verses, like it's very rhythmic, and
Thank
you
you.
switch it up, and it's not just like the same count, if you will.
Yeah.
So it's very impressive.
First off, thank you very much for that compliment, because my outlook on rap is like, I don't consider myself a rapper, right? If anything, I consider myself a lyricist, but it comes from the fact that I have a true love and appreciation for words. I think words are like the ultimate art form, really. And in writing, okay, so there's bar structure, and typically there's song, hook, song, or verse, hook, verse. There's all this structure, but within rap and within music, there's no rules. There's no boundaries. You can do what you want, and you can change it on the fly.
Yep.
You could drop one rhyme at the end of the bar, the next one can carry over to the second bar. You can split a word right down the middle to change the rhyme. I mean, it's just limitless, the possibilities and everything you can do. I like to do a lot of spoken word poetry as well, and my trouble has always been trying to apply my cadence or my rhythm to a beat, because I feel like I have it in my head the way I want it to sound, and then when I have to conform it to a beat, a lot of times things change. So I love the spoken word because there's no beat, there's nothing to block you from expressing yourself completely and fully. And that is probably where the concept from Escape from Society came from. That was the last project. Before I went to prison, that was the last project I released. And it was a rushed project, but it was like, so I was on probation for like 5 years, on a 10-year probation. And I had ended up knowing I was going to prison. I knew it was coming. And so I was like, look, I need to make this happen. I need to make this project happen. If I accomplish anything before I go to prison, I need to get this CD out. And luckily I was good friends with Chase Boy Keller, who is like Texas Battle League, and he's been like a mentor to me for a long time. He always would record my old stuff, and it's the type of relationship, like simpatico, he would say, that you go and he has the idea already. He knows what you want to sound like, and he can make you sound like that. And also I would come to him with ideas for songs. I write a lot of stuff that I can't do. Like, I can see it in my head, but I'm like, it's not right. I could do it, but it's gonna sound like Boosie singing a hook. Like, it just it doesn't carry right for me. So luckily I have a talented wife who can sing, and I employ her all the time.
Really?
Like on Emily's Dragon, she's on there. She was on EFS several times, and Chase can sing as well. So I write all these hooks that I have great vision for, but I can't do. And luckily I have some good people around me, like the Dead Wrong hook. I wrote that, and Max just killed it. In my mind, if I did that, it wouldn't have sounded good at all, And I could write the rhythm, but I can't bring it to fruition.
But that's good that you're always challenging yourself, because I mean, if you keep doing things that you know that you could do, then like, how are you ever going to grow as an artist?
Right.
So, or what were you going to say?
I think diversity is important for anybody, and not just in music, but in life. Like, I don't want to do two things that are the same.
Yeah.
You have some artists that they know their sound, and they do it over and over.
Yeah.
And over. And it may be good, but it's the same thing. And that's like, if you listen to Yellow Wolf, no two of his projects are the same. They all come out and they're just a drastic change. Like, if you compare the new one he just released, Trunk Music 3, to like Love Story, it's just a completely different being. It's completely different.
Is that what you strive for with each? How many projects have you released?
So it started, my first official project was Savage Obsession, and that was like the early days, trying to find myself and my sound. And then there was the vault, that was projects that kind of were recorded around the same time as Obsession but didn't quite make it to that. And then officially there was only EFS after that, Escape from Society, which was kind of like a concept CD. So I did something different with that. I did a song and then an acapella, a song and then a spoken word. So every time you hear a song, you jam to that, and then it breaks up and you get like strictly bars, lines, lyrics, and it's stuff that touches on real subjects, like real topics, like addiction and just society in general. And I have one called Painkillers that's on EFS that kind of does the comparison to how I can go out and buy a bottle of whiskey and throw it off and go drive my car and, you know, destroy people's lives, including my own, but I can't smoke a little weed legally, you know?
Yeah. So was your, if you don't mind me asking, was your imprisonment, was it drug related?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
No, it was a violent thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was a long time ago. It actually happened in 2012, and it was like a road rage incident, and somebody had ended up assaulting my wife.
Oh, shit.
Basically, I had a rifle at the time, and so yeah, I ended up getting in a little trouble.
Yeah. You're a good husband, though. Was she okay though?
Yeah, she was fine. Everything worked out. Dude was on a motorcycle. He had like a motorcycle helmet on and all that. But, you know, I'm thankful for it, and I'm thankful for prison.
Yeah.
It sounds weird to say, but prison afforded me a lot of time to think and reflect and grow. And I'm probably in the best mental health that I've ever been now, and in the best physical health that I've ever been. I mean, I was working out like 2-3 times a day for 2 hours at a time, just getting in insane shape. And I'm really happy for that, but also the time it afforded me to kind of rebrand and restructure my style, and I'm happy for it.
What was your rapping style like before prison compared to now?
I think it was segueing into what it's becoming now. It was on the verge of what I am now, but it was slower, and it was more melodic. Like, if I could sing, I probably wouldn't rap. You know? I always got country songs on in the car, singing to it, and I'm like, man, you sound like trash. And that's why I have, you know, people like my wife and like Chase to sing hooks for me. There's actually we're in the works doing a country song.
Really?
I say country song. It's got a country hook to it, but then I rap on it. So it's like, you know, country-ish.
Yeah.
But it's got that real country vibe to it. It's like a Johnny Cash style beat.
Was country music your first love in music?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
I was the type of kid who would have boots on even wearing shorts. I had a mullet. I mean, it was seriously country. Like, I grew up with horses and pigs and chickens, and, you know, but I was split, and my childhood and my growth and development was half country, half city. So I was born in Houston, and I've lived in Houston, but I've also lived in Conroe. If anybody knows Conroe, it's like red dirt and sticks. And I mean, I had really the privilege of growing up and seeing both sides. And now I feel like I'm a country boy who's trapped in the city, you know, and it is what it is. I'm living in San Marcos, and I love it, but I hate it at the same time. Like, if I was wealthy, if I could afford it, I'd be out on some big ranch with trees grown up, and I wouldn't have to, you know, ever leave the property.
Yeah. Wow. So what attracted you to rapping then? Because to me, that's like polar opposite genres.
Right. You know, I'm trying to think back now, and I think it was just the people I hung around with. Because I'm also a skateboarder.
Okay.
So I skate, and
That
I would
makes
have like a
sense.
clique of like people who skate. And,
Yeah.
you know, back in the day, we would stay up late after a skate session, and we'd do like funny raps, like talking about John Deere tractors, and just laughing, having a good time. And then I would hang out with people who were more like urban, like I had a friend named Fortune who would rap, and we would sit and just play beats on the Xbox and just freestyle back and forth. It really started, I think, getting stoned and freestyling. I would just smoke a blunt with the friends, and we would rap and we would freestyle, and I felt like I had talent. And looking back, I had none. I was trash. I was horrible. I don't know how, I guess consistency pays off. I'm definitely not where I want to be, but I think all the little steps are getting me in the right direction, at least, right? And so just freestyling, getting stoned, and then I think things really changed when I met Kelly Cochran. She's a great friend of mine, like probably my best friend in the whole world. She held it down when I was in prison, sent me e-coms, put money on my books, wrote me letters. She's just a great friend. But at the time, I was living in an apartment in San Marcos, and I was working, but I was also selling weed. And she moved in next door, and it turned out she was the apartment manager. Like, she moved in to get that job. I was like, shit. So, our doors are right next to each other, not even 10 feet apart. And I wouldn't smoke anything but blunts. I think there was a period of almost a year where I didn't even roll a blunt, because I just always had it where I would have somebody come over. I'd be like, hey, you want to smoke? And roll it up. And so I knew she smelled the weed coming from the apartment. So one day I finally saw her out in the parking lot, and I was like, hey, are you cool? She's like, yeah, I'm cool. And ever since that day, like, we had a bond, and we would hang out, we would play Xbox together, we would smoke and just have a good time. But she encouraged me and believed in me, and she went out of her way to, like, hook up the MacBook with GarageBand and record me and invest in me. She bought me a rhyming dictionary and a rhyming thesaurus, and like, she just believed in me. And because she believed in me, I started to believe in myself, and it made the whole difference. That's when I actually started to pseudo take music seriously, and I started writing and actually recording and low level stuff, but it was the next step that was necessary to continue with music. And through that, I ended up meeting Chase, who was doing the Tree Huggers collective back then, which was like a group of artists that got together, basically had each other's back, and all wanted to see each other do good. And that's really where it kind of took off for me, that I started actually doing shows and recording in decent studios, and I was being serious about music, but at the same time I wasn't, because I was so I was living in a hectic way, right? So I was, popping pills and drinking and just doing all kinds of stuff. So I thought I was doing great. I thought I was doing right, and I was just doing bad. But it was a good time. Looking back on it, I'm glad I lived through it. Yeah,
and I'm sure it's good writing material too, when you reflect on all the shit you went through and did. And
yeah. When you don't block it out, when you don't try to forget it.
Yeah, you gotta release that shit, man. Yeah. So you're originally from Houston, and then San Marcos, and then what brought you to Austin?
I kind of lived all over. Like, I lived in Conroe, I lived in Quitman, I lived in New Waverly, I lived in Kyle, Buda. I graduated from Hayes High School in 2006. I really just moved all over,
Is your target audience like Austin, or where do you play? Where do you perform at?
Since I've been out February, I have not played. I have not performed.
Oh, okay.
And so I in my mind, I have this level of progression. Like, I'm gonna record this song, and then I'm making a collective of just 5 songs that I'm gonna release called Emily's Dragon. That's the tape idea, and then there's the title track, Emily's Dragon. But I feel like once I have those 5 songs, I'll have the new material that I'll be ready to maybe perform. And then I'll just take it from there. I have some good friends and some good people. And hopefully I'll be able to do a couple shows. I know I'm supposed to do on May 5th, I think, at Monkey's Vintage. Salis Herb has a show.
Oh, really?
With Ugly Boy Click, I think.
Okay.
So as soon as I got out, I reached out to all the old connections, and I was like, hey, I'm back. I want to work. I want to do something. Let's do something. And Dutton was really supportive, and So right away, pretty much, I did a feature for him. And on the end of the song, I have a feature that he's going to perform, and he invited me to perform with him. So I'll be on stage there, I think May 5th, Monkey's Vintage, Ugly Boy Click, Salad Herb.
Nice.
And I think it's cool when we do music together because we have such a different vibe. Like, he's the laid back, like,
yeah, I was gonna say
stoner guy. And my verse is at the end, so it's kind of like a complete surprise. Like, the whole track, the whole song is just real chill, and then I come on. And I tried to match his energy. I tried to, like, you know, take it down and just kind of match what he would do. But it's exciting. Nobody's heard that track yet, so I'm excited for somebody to hear it and see what they think.
Who produced it?
That was all done by MC Righteous.
Okay.
Over in Austin,
yeah. I met him at that music video.
Yeah, very talented dude.
Yeah, I have to have him on because everyone keeps mentioning. Basically, I'm trying to hit everyone's click.
Yeah, well, and that's what I was saying. Like, you're obviously connected into the mesh in your fold, right?
Yeah, trying at least. But going back to Emily's Dragon, because I was listening to a clip of it, and is Emily someone?
Emily is someone. Not only is she someone, she's my niece.
Ah.
And, I'm like the favorite uncle. All my nieces and nephews love me. Maybe it's because I'm a big kid.
Are you like their cool younger uncle?
I don't know about younger anymore, but
okay.
I'm the cool uncle, like the one that, you know, buys them toys and hangs out with them. Like the other day at Easter, I was hanging out with the family, and my nephew Jimmy, he's like, "You want to race?" I'm like, "Yeah." So we go in and play the Xbox and race. But Emily, we had like a real special relationship.
How old is she?
She's 11 now.
Okay.
So
impressionable.
Yeah, but I mean, I was around her, you know, her whole life, and she's always loved me. We've always had like a real good relationship. She's been really cool, and she's one of my brother that I'm closest to, his daughter, and he had been to prison too. And my mom had taken care of Emily. So when she was little, we had this real good relationship, and I would make her say stuff like, if she wanted me to do something for her, I'd make her say "pretty please" with a cherry on top. And so she already knew to say that. And then I forget how it happened, but she ended up saying Uncle Travis spits out fire. So my first name is Travis. My middle name is Levi. And she would always say, "Uncle Travis spits out fire. Uncle Travis spits out fire." And so then whenever, you know, we would talk or anything, I was like, "What do I do?" And she'd be like, "You spit out fire." and it was just a cool little thing that we had going back and forth. But on the day I was released from prison, my brother and my wife, they picked me up, and we went to pick Emily up at school that day. And she burst into tears as soon as she saw me, and she was so happy and ecstatic that I was back. You know, I've been gone and out of her life for years, and we wrote a couple letters. She did a couple little drawings for me. It was very nice. But she told me in the back seat of that Suburban, she was like, "Uncle Travis, you know what my friends call you?" It's like, "What? What do they call me?" Said, "They call you Emily's Dragon." And I was like, "What? That's awesome." And
that's so cute.
it touched me. I was like, that's awesome. You know, I haven't been around. I've been gone, and she's kept me in her life. She's kept me alive, you know, through her. And the fact that her friends know of me and they call me Emily, I thought that was awesome. So it kind of inspired me. And I normally don't do like a storytelling type of song. I like to really rely on lyrics and wordplay, and sometimes I'll write rhymes just for the sound of them, for the complex sound of the rhyme schemes, and really like almost a verbal exercise. But it inspired me to write a little bit of a kind of storytelling type song. And I wanted to really change the structure of the song. So with this song, I put a doubled up hook in the beginning, and then there's a verse with a bridge and a verse with a bridge, and then a hook at the end. So it's kind of just different from any normal song structure that you would normally hear, normally get. And I wanted to really change it up, and it's her song, you know. And I had my wife sing on it. She does like a repetitive thing in the background that it's different. It's just so different, and it's so different that I don't even know if I like it, right? And it's not really me.
Does Emily like it? Has
Oh,
she heard it?
she's not allowed to hear it yet.
Oh,
so,
bad words.
So I've given her
Okay.
a sample of it, right? Like I've given her a tease on
Mhm.
Easter. I showed her a little bit of it, but the in the grand scheme of things, it's really hard. It's gonna be hard. But I'd like to release this next project, at least digital, on May 16th.
Hmm.
May 16th is the day I get off parole. So
Nice.
it's the day I'm gonna be done with
Exciting.
everything. We can celebrate, we can party, we can enjoy another goal accomplished, and hopefully I can get that done and have it released May 16th, and then everybody can hear it.
Yeah.
Because nobody's gonna hear it until then, except for my what I call board of directors. So I have a few people that I lean on that I will send tracks to before I release them. Kelly is one. Lungs, another dude who was like an original tree hugger, real talented dude. I like to send him my music and let him check it out. He has like a real producer's ear, so he can tell you little things that will need to be changed or different. And of course I send stuff to Chase as well.
Nice. It's always good to have friends that'll be honest with you too.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like, don't kiss my ass. Just tell me.
Yeah, I want to know if it's
Yeah.
crap. Like, I want to know. And
Yeah.
that I have such a hard time because I get so many people showing me music or sending me beats, and you try to be nice, but it's hard to be a rapper who doesn't like rap. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because so much of this new music is just, it's not music to me.
Were you able to listen to music when you're in prison?
So that's kind of what I was telling you about earlier, is like the 2 years I had a radio and only a radio. So
that's right.
you get music, but it's all the stuff that I would never listen to, and coming out now I'm like singing a Drake song, like having a good time, and it's not me. It's just crazy.
What who did you listen to when you were first influenced?
Initially, through my older brothers, it was like ICP.
Okay.
And then obviously, like, I think Eminem was the first CD I ever bought myself, and I mean, it's just Eminem is literally what he says, a rap god. Like the way he pushes words and syllables and rhyme schemes to the absolute limit. Like, he does things that are just ridiculous, and I find myself replaying, and sometimes I'll hear a song that I haven't heard in a year or two, and I'll hear new stuff that I didn't even know was in there. And it's just crazy the level of intricacy that he can put into his music.
Yeah.
And ideally, I would love to be a blend of like Yellow Wolf, Eminem, and Ritz. That would be like the end goal.
I feel really stupid because I haven't heard either Yellow Wolf or...
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Okay,
But I believe you when it sounds...
Maybe I'm biased because I'm a white guy, so I'm a white rapper. Right?
Are they white rappers?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So Ritz, like the Ritz Cracker,
Mm-hmm.
he was on Strange Music, Tech Nine's label. He has a really like rapid pace delivery.
Okay.
He makes fast double time rapping seem effortless. I've never heard him take a breath. Like, it's just crazy how fast he can go, and it's just precise. Everything's on point. And he was a double XL freshman, and there was nobody messing with him, like nobody touching him. And Yellow Wolf is just like, he reminds me so much of the way I grew up and the way I want to live, like that southern kind of country influence. But he's another one that he can chop it up with the best of them. He was even on Worldwide Choppers with Tech Nine, and he was signed to Shady Records.
Oh.
So Slumerican is his brand, and
I see that hashtag now. It makes sense.
I got it tattooed on me. Like,
Really?
I believe in it. I love it. It's a way of life. It's crazy.
Slumerica?
Yeah, Slumerican.
Slumerican. So that's the phrase that he...
That's like his
or?
record label. That's his clothing brand.
Mm.
That's everything. And even Ritz was repping Slumerican because Ritz was put on really by Yellow Wolf. He was featured on Box Chevy with Yellow Wolf, and that really is what propelled him to fame. And then he signed with Strange, and now he's fulfilled his contract with Strange, and he's creating his own label, Clientele. So
Sorry.
That's all right.
I just realized. I'm like, wow, I'm learning. I'll have to check them out. I'm sorry. I should have did a little more research.
That's all right. It's just, I mean, I'm really close-minded. I try to be really open-minded, but I know what I like. And
That's what I found
like
with most rappers is they're just so picky, and even if you were to like share a song to them, they're just like, nah, it's okay. Like, do you like being introduced to new music, or are you like?
I used to not. I used to be like, you know what, if I liked it, I probably would have already found it. But now I'm loving it, and I'm trying to open myself up to different music and be receptive to different things that I wasn't before, and try different things. And I'm really looking and kind of trying to develop a strategy based on what other white rappers are doing, because there's a huge market for it and there's a lot of success. Like, a dream for me would be to play like a mud fest where there's big 4-wheel drive trucks and, you know, mud pits, and like that's the ideal for me. That'd be great.
Do they have music festivals like that?
Yeah.
Like, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
In Texas, I'm sure.
So I know there's some, I haven't seen any in Texas.
Really?
I haven't, yeah, but they're out there.
Mm.
And like, you know, I'm brand new, I'm still fresh out, so I haven't even been out for like 2 months now, so I'm getting adjusted. There's a lot I need to catch up on.
Yeah. Like, what was the hardest that you had to adjust back?
I think if not food, like decisions. Like, I didn't really get to decide what I ate, you know? It's 3 meals a day or whatever, but whatever's on that tray you're going to eat, or you're going to be hungry.
What did they feed you there? I'm curious now.
Like
Is it like like they just slap it on your tray? That's
yeah, except they got a scoop, and they always screw you on the scoop because you didn't pay them a stamp. So it's you know, there's all kinds of stuff. Like, there's little like soy meat patties, there's BS little tacos, there's a bunch of stroganoff stuff, and it all depends on what unit you're at too.
Okay.
So I was at a unit that was like an old brick unit, spiders, roaches, rats, all that. Like, no heat, or the heat was janky. They had heat, but it didn't really work, and there was no AC. Obviously, the windows opened up. No pillows, nothing like that. I would roll something up to use as a pillow,
shit.
but there was a lot of pork. It was real heavy pork, and I'm all right with that. I think my favorite thing was they had a pork roll. It's like just a compressed roll of pork that you get a slice of, right? And that was probably the best thing on the menu that I got, and I loved it. But when I transferred for the PEP program to Cleveland, which is a private facility, they didn't serve any pork. So it was a lot like county food. If anybody's ever been in county jail, it's just BS. It's nothing you want to eat. And dude,
what time do they wake you up?
so
I'm gonna ask you a lot of questions now about prison.
that's all right. So it really determines on what you have going on. So breakfast is always super early. Like, some units 2 something in the morning, 3 something in the morning.
No way.
Yeah. And then, lunch 10 to noon, something like that. And the thing is, they have to feed the whole unit. So it depends on if you go first or last, and so there's an order to it, right? And if you don't get up and go, you don't make it out the door, or you don't make it out your cell, you're just stuck. You're not eating. And if you don't have anybody who loves you to put money on your books, put commissary in your locker, then you're hungry.
You don't get to eat at all?
Oh, you get to go to chow, but if I went to chow and I ate all 3 meals, before I went to sleep, I would be starving.
Really?
Starving.
Super small portions.
It is. It's not huge portions. They give you like the recommended amount of calories, but there's like some trays that they would put mustard packets on your tray to meet the calorie,
Oh my goodness.
It's just a lot of scandalous stuff there, and there's prisons that have like quotas to write a certain amount of cases, and these cases that are frivolous cases are taking people's parole away, taking their chance away to go home to their family, because these Nigerian guards are on a power trip and want to write cases for nothing.
Whoa.
I had several experiences with that. It's just horrible.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so like, I'm sure the guards bully people and.
No, they ain't gonna bully nobody, because they'll get their ass kicked if they were to take it that way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that does happen, but primarily it's just a lot of like running your mouth, threatening cases. They know who they can talk to and who they can't talk to, and it's just a power trip, man. These people aren't qualified. If they weren't there being prison guards, they'd be cashiers at Walmart. You know, there's no qualifications for this. And TDC, the prison system, is like really dependent on Nigerian guards. Like they come over here. And
yeah, why specifically?
Maybe because nobody wants the job. I don't know, but it's crazy. It's just crazy.
Wow. Have you ever been jumped in prison?
I was in some altercations, yeah. Yeah, I did actually get my front tooth knocked out when I was in there. And I washed it off, picked it up, and put it back in. And it's still there. It's still
Whoa.
in there. Yeah.
It's like hanging by a thread. Like, are you scared to...
No. So, like, it was good timing, I guess, because I had a shoulder injury, and so I was trying to get on the bottom bunk because they had me climbing up on the top bunk. So I had already had put an I-60 in to go try to get a bottom bunk, and there was a lot of gang politics going on in the dorm at that time, and there was some like don't look over here type of thing going on where basically they tried to like punk out all the white guys out of the cell because there was a real heavy population of Bloods in the dorm, and there was a lot of Tongo Blast in the dorm. So there was an issue between them, and instead of them settle their issue, they kind of tried to diffuse it by putting the heat on the white guys. And a bunch of them packed their stuff up and they left, and that's probably what I should have done too. But I didn't.
You could do that though?
I mean, you could say no. You can't just leave.
Oh, I thought you meant
like you're scared. Like you pack your belongings up in your sheet and you say I'm afraid for my life or whatever, and you get out of the dorm.
Oh, they can do that.
And you move around. You get into protective custody or something like that. That's not what you want to do. You don't want to live in prison like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you share a cell with someone?
Always. But this was worse at first. On these transfer units, before I made it to an ID unit, you don't have a cell. You have a bunk, and you're in a big open room with 50, 100
like a
people.
Gymnasium or something?
I mean, yeah, it's a big, high ceiling, no AC room with just bunks lined up, and all you have in this world has to fit in this little locker.
Whoa.
So I lived pretty much with nothing for several years, and I get out and I'm like, I want everything.
Yeah. Wow. Did you marry your wife before prison? Or?
We've been together for over 7 years. Like 7. It's 2012. It's 2019 now. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm getting old.
That must have been so heartbreaking, like not seeing her. Well, I mean, it's good that you had her before prison too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did she visit you?
Yes, and I'm thankful for that because it allowed my wife and my mom to go closer together because they would take the trip up to see me, and they would spend hours in the truck together. So
That's
they kind of
awesome.
grew and created a bond together, which was good.
Yeah.
Wow. Mustard packets. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when would you write? Like, were you on a schedule?
So, I had mentioned my shoulder was fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went in, as soon as I went in, I was like, "Yeah, I got a messed up shoulder. I ain't gonna work for you." So basically, they have slave labor there. You don't get paid, and if you don't work, you get a case. So, and there's hoe squad where you literally go out with a hoe and you cut the grass basically in a line with other dudes with a hoe. There's the dudes who work in the kitchen. There's the people who do the janitor. Everything done in prison is done by an inmate. And you don't get paid. You don't get no benefits. You don't get anything. And because of my shoulder, I had a work restriction where I didn't have to work.
Well, that's good.
I mean, I was working out 2-3 times a day, but I didn't have to work. I didn't have to have a job, so that was good because I wouldn't have worked for them. And if they tried to make me work, I probably wouldn't have ended up making parole and getting out a little early.
Wow. So when you weren't working, you were just like in your. I guess I'm curious how you're able
structure?
to. Yeah.
So prior to me going to the private unit, Cleveland, it was really kind of a free for all. Like I did what I wanted. If I woke up, you know, you're stuck in the dorm, you're stuck in your living quarters. You can't just go roam around, right? But the only time you can get out really is for chow. So you go eat and then you come back, and then you maybe go to rec, and you come back. But it's such a procedure. Like at that old red brick unit, like you go to rec and it's the rec yard is just packed. So if you want to do a set, you're waiting in line 10, 15 deep. You know, by the time you get back to do your set, like you're already cold. So you got to do something else. And then when you come back in, you got to go in the gym and strip in front of everybody again. You get butt naked, and, you know, lift your feet up, lift your sack and all that. And I'm telling you, getting naked just became a routine. They would strip you all the time and for any reason. Like, you go anywhere, you come back. Every time I came back from visit, I had a good visit. Now get naked. You know, shake down, pack up all your stuff, bring it to the gym, get naked.
Is it just like so no one's carrying
contraband
around shank and stuff?
Yeah, you get contraband, all kinds of stuff. You know, like K2 is bad in prison. Everybody's smoking that K2. It's horrible.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you even make it?
They get it in.
It's just it's smuggled in.
Yeah.
I get, like, I've heard of like making stuff with like orange peels and whatnot.
Yeah, you can make hooch, but I mean, somebody's got to keep that big trash bag full of hooch or those bottles full of hooch in their locker, in their cubicle, wherever you're at. So how long is it going to take to ferment? How long you want to have it there?
Do people do they OD or like?
I never personally saw anybody OD, but I know they on one unit I was at, they were getting Suboxone.
What's that?
Suboxone is like a opioid, like a strip. Like, it was some pretty heavy shit. I never tried it, but people were getting fucked up.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I'm like so mind blown right now.
I feel like there's probably more than this, but I feel like there's two types of people in prison: the people who want to improve themselves and start to make a change and better themselves while they have all this idle time, and then there's the people who want to be in prison.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So if you want to be in prison, you're gonna fucking drink hooch and yell at the guards and be a crash test dummy.
Yeah. So did you make friends with the other rappers? Did you have a little clique?
No. You know, I hung out with my people. It's very racially divided. So, you know, that it is what it is. Prison's a whole different beast. It's a whole different animal.
But when you guys had your I forgot what you called it, the nights where you could actually rap, did you even, like, even though it was racially divided, I'm sure people paid their respect.
I was pretty much the only white guy in the room.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But it was crazy, the experience, not while I was rapping in the room, but after, because everywhere on the unit, people would be like, "Hey, I heard you rap. Oh, I heard you got something." Or, "Hey, what's up? That's this dude." And they would see me, and especially on the rec yard, because I was always out on the rec yard, I would always get approached and be like, "Hey, let me hear something. And I'm not that type I'm not the type to portray like, "Oh, I'm a rapper, I'm gonna sag my pants, I'm gonna say I'm saying and talking about and this and that." I think there's this whole image that's associated with rapper that I try to get as far away from as possible.
That's good. Yeah, I could see that.
I believe that rap can really be intellectual. You know, it should be an art form, not just bragging or slang. It is what it is, though.
Yeah. I definitely respect people who look at it as more of an art than just like a claim to fame, if you will. What are your so you're working on the skateboarding thing. Do you have have you started anything with that yet, or?
Like I said, I'm pretty angry with myself for not getting what I want. Like I built a prototype of the display. and I have some preliminary designs of the logo.
Have you designed it yourself?
No, so I had a actual hand-drawn sketch that I did, and we took that as the basis and kind of ran with that to. It's crazy. Everybody that I've met or everybody that I reconnected with since I've been out has led me to someone else, and it's been like this beautiful web of networking that has got me somewhere. So, a buddy of mine, Wedo, who I met through Chase, he stayed down in prison the whole time too. He put e-coms on my books, write me letters and stuff, let me know what's going on. He, when I got out, was real supportive, and we touched base together right away, and I told him my plans. You know, he was on board for everything, and so he actually ended up working with somebody who had a degree in graphic design. So we let her kind of take the ropes on that, and there's a real cool logo that we're in the works of. It's got, so the initial logo was like fire and 2 femur bones crossed underneath instead of logs, and it's kind of developed and changed to where now it's like 2 skateboards crossed with a skull above, and it's pretty cool. I can't wait till it comes out and it's officially ready to go.
Me too.
So ideally it'll be a logo that's on merch that can kind of mesh with the music, and everything will flow together.
Yeah.
Nice. It's always nice to have like other side hustles aside from like your main art, just to keep yourself versatile and whatnot.
Absolutely.
Nice. Wow. We're almost at our own hour mark.
Holy shit.
Well, I mean, 52, but...
So what all do you do? What all are you involved in?
Well, I've done photography, like, for over 10 years, since I was, like, 20, 21. And then I model here and there. You know, just, I'm very picky with who and what we would do, just because, like, I never classified myself as a model before a photographer. But I do figure modeling for Bethesda every now and then. And now this is my new baby.
So what made you want to do this?
The podcast?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted something where I could connect with other artists more. And I don't like just, because let's face it, with Instagram culture now, it's like anyone can be a model, and just it becomes so superficial. And you know, I have a 9-to-5 corporate job, so like when I want to explore my art side, like I want it to be more like meaningful, and I don't want to feel like, all right, let's do a shoot so you could feel hot online, you know.
Yeah.
I want to, you know, push other artists and people that I normally wouldn't work with, who's just a face. And I listen to podcasts like all the time when I'm at work, and I'm like, I could do that.
Definitely.
And now, like, I mean, I would have never met other artists outside of the photography and model world if I didn't start this. Yeah. And I don't know. I like talking with people too, because everything is so superficial, and you know, it's manufactured so it looks pretty online.
It's instant gratification.
Yeah. Whereas this, it's like, this is real shit, you know, like nothing's rehearsed, you know.
Yeah, absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't even know, yeah.
So I really appreciate people like you coming on, and I get to learn so much. Like, I would have never thought you were in prison, and
that's the goal. That's the goal, is for me to surprise people, for me to, you know, have great conversations, or to add value to someone's life. And then, you know, I was having a conversation with a business owner the other day, and she has these incredible like maple bacon biscuits that she just got a contract for HEB with, and she was talking about an employee of hers who was obviously the second type of person in prison who was a felon, and she started saying something about felons, and I said, yeah, I just got out of prison in February, and it kind of like changed her whole, like, oh well, you know, this and that. So
inspiring.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're people too.
Yeah, and I don't think a person's value or worth should be judged on one mistake. You know, your whole life could be changed in an instant, in seconds.
Right.
And how many years are we throwing away of good people because now they're labeled as something?
Right.
You know.
And prison, it's just a a money scam for the
Yeah.
government. It's like, let's place these ridiculous laws so we can trap people into prison and, like you said, modern day slavery.
It absolutely is. Absolutely.
So sad.
But
So-
I'm here now.
Yeah.
Now, and I'm happy. I'm glad
And
for
you're
the
never going
opportunity.
back.
No, I'm never going back. Soon enough, weed's gonna be legal, and that's the only thing I
Yes.
need to worry about.
Yeah. That's what you're looking forward to the most. May
Yeah,
16th.
May 16th.
Nice.
We're gonna have a
Gonna
party.
go hard.
I don't
Gonna
know
have
where
people
or
over.
how. Not at my house, but but somehow.
Yeah.
You know,
Somewhere
a
in
powwow.
Austin or San Marcos?
You know what? I have no idea, but I'm receptive to suggestions.
Yeah.
Let me hear it.
Wow. Well, I only hang out with my boyfriends.
Yeah, you know, it's hard to be like an artist or anything social when you're so antisocial.
I know.
Like I find myself hating people.
Yeah.
And, like when we see somebody driving real fast or cutting somebody off, I'm like, oh, they're important. They're real important, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying, and I did Toastmasters, which is like a public speaking platform where you have to go and give a speech on a topic and make time. And there's somebody who counts your ums, ands. There's a grammarian. I mean, it really, I think it helped me develop my speaking, although I was probably already well above the majority of the other participants. But it allowed me, prison really made me social, which is weird because out here, I'm going to stay inside. I don't want to mess with you. I got like my 5 people I talk to, and that's it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But being in prison, there's nowhere to go. You're just around people all the time. There is no privacy. I mean, there's no door on the bathroom, you know.
And they've seen your asshole.
Yeah, everybody. So it made me social, though. I mean,
yeah. Do you have friends that were released around the same time?
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
Coming out.
There's
soon?
some real great guys that I stay in touch with. PEP, the program I was involved in, has a transition house in Austin, and I have made a point to hang out with some of those guys.
Nice.
You know, they're in a new city, they don't know people, and I want to hang around with them. I went and hung out with this younger kid, Gabriel, at the house probably a month ago, and we played games of skate in the garage and hung out. He had his ankle monitor on. He couldn't leave the house, you know.
Yeah.
So we stayed in the garage and played some games of skate and had a good time. Another buddy, Brian, that I was locked up with, we were in the same pod, same unit, and same program. He got out, and I invited him out. We went to a show, went and saw Audic Empire and Lunar Levi and Colin G. It was a real good time, good show. So
Wow.
I really need to make it out more. I know I need to be more supportive and come out. And just staying in San Marcos, the drive is so treacherous, dealing with traffic to get out, and then working.
Yeah.
You got to wake up early. So you know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a point though to try to get out more.
Yeah. Are you working right now?
Yeah.
That's good.
So,
Were you able to
yeah.
get a job like right after?
Yeah. So I have a trade, like I do carpentry.
Oh, cool.
So initially, right when I get out, I had a couple different job offers, and I started doing just some like furniture installation. Basically, I was building cubicles and desks and stuff like that, and it was fine, but it was a long drive, and just looked for a couple other things, and I was gonna go back into carpentry, and on the same day I got a job offer to go back to a wood shop. I got a different job offer doing something different, so I took that, and I'm trying something new now.
Good for you.
Just working, trying to
Yeah.
work and do music and be a good husband and be a good person and stay connected. It's a whole lot. You know?
Yeah.
It's a lot to do.
But I'm excited for you. I could feel this like drive, like this energy from you.
Thank you.
So nice. I guess I don't know, when you hear other people went to prison and like they don't know what to do with their life next. So it's good that you're fulfilling your dreams.
I'm just so grateful that I have a supportive family,
Yeah.
supportive team. You know, my mother, my brothers. When the day I got out, my brother handed me a cell phone and the keys to a Jeep. And the crazy thing is, the Jeep is like the same Jeep I had in high school, and I loved it. It was the Jeep in high school was a '89 Jeep Cherokee 4.0 liter 4-wheel drive that I would go take in the mud every day. And I would find any excuse to go off the road. Like, oh, there's some ruts over there. You know,
Yeah.
on my way to high school, I would always pick up friends in the morning, and then we would dip through this subdivision because it was being worked on. So I would go into the subdivision, and then you go to where the construction entrance was, where these 18-wheelers leave these huge ruts. And I would just go and drift and get the mud, you know, turn it up, and then I'd pull out on the road and it'd just be throwing mud up like 30 feet in the air.
Wow.
You could always tell where I parked because there was just mud caked everywhere on my spot. And he got me one that was, I ended up actually selling that Jeep to him because he needed a car. I didn't want to get rid of it. I had bought another truck and I still had the Jeep and he needed a car. I was like, dude, I don't want to get rid of it. I'll sell it to you for $400, thinking he would be like, no, I don't need it. He paid me $400, so I got rid of it too. And when I got out, he had a Jeep just like that for me, except it was a 98. Same motor, same 4-wheel drive. I mean, and I love it. It's not fancy, it's not pretty, but it's 4-wheel drive, and I love it. It's great.
Nice.
You know, the first thing I did was get some nice mud tires on it. Probably cost as much as the Jeep did, you know. But
see, now I can totally visualize your music video.
yeah, yeah.
Better be muddy. There better be
I'm
trucks.
telling you, I need the budget, right?
Yeah.
Unless you know there's some great music video people want to work with me out there and make something awesome, you know.
Yeah.
But I would love to do like a mud fest, and I reached out to my old boss who I was working for when I got out. His name is Travis too. He owns Precision Woodcrafting in San Marcos. Great shop. They're doing great things, and he's got like a lifted up 2500 GMC Sierra, and he was like, dude, I jammed dead wrong. I could definitely see y'all doing the video riding around in my truck downtown Austin. And I was like, yeah, I could too. That'd be great.
That would be so much fun. You're talking about those like monster truck wheels, right? Is that that's how I
kind of like, yeah, I mean, it's nothing drastic. It's like a 6-inch lift. So already with a full-size truck, you got a decent amount of gap between the wheel and the fender, and then you raise it another 6 inches, put some big wheels and tires on it, and I mean, it's sitting up pretty nice.
Do you wear a cowboy hat too?
I don't have a cowboy hat.
Oh.
I got a funny shaped head. I can't find a cowboy hat that makes me look right. I just look goofy.
But would you? Would you
Absolutely.
sport one?
I would love one. Yeah, I'd love like a nice black hat. But I believe in diversity, right?
Yeah.
So I thrive on diversity. Like today I'm wearing my boots and jeans and my blue jean jacket, but tomorrow I might be wearing some Vans and some joggers and cut off.
Oh,
you
and
know.
skate gear?
Yeah,
Like, you wear skate
so
shoes and stuff?
you never know
Yeah.
what I might look like, what I might be wearing,
Yeah.
but it'll probably be black. You threw me off.
Well, thank you for following my one request.
I was still a rebel. I wore the all black top, right? I just covered it up.
See, it looks good. I know almost everyone tries to wear all black when they come on here, and I'm like, dude.
Well, I'm glad you told me though, because I would have been blacked out. You probably wouldn't have seen me at all.
Oh, well, we should probably wrap up. So where can we find you online? Do you have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, I made one. I haven't really done much with it yet.
Yeah, because I found your Spotify and your Instagram, of course. But
Yeah. Levi Deadman.
Okay.
There's
On everything?
On everything. If you there's not really anybody else going by Levi Deadman. And that was a lot of what made me change the name too, because everybody is savage.
Yeah,
So-
I like Levi a lot.
I changed it, and Levi's my real name, obviously. So Levi Deadman, Instagram, that's what I'm really pushing heavy right now. Facebook is more like where you just kind of see the life, what I'm doing, the day-to-day kind of stuff.
That's for
Instagram is, yeah, and it's got to be kind of appropriate, right? And then Instagram is what I'm really pushing right now. It's just Levi_Deadman. You search Levi Deadman, it'll come up. Same thing with SoundCloud, Spotify, I'm on there, iTunes, Apple Music, we got Dead Wrong on there. YouTube too, you can find me, Levi Deadman.
Nice. And then May 5th, you said?
May 6th.
6th?
May 5th is Monkey's Vintage. Yeah, with Dutton. Monkey's Vintage.
Which is Sal's Herb.
My bad. Sal's Herb. Sorry, brother. I know you use Dutton. I'll try to change it. Yeah. Definitely. You catch me out there. I think Ugly Boy Click. I have no idea who that is, but apparently I think it's their show, like their headline.
And when was the last time you performed? Or is this your first ever? Since prison?
I don't know. I can't even recall.
Are you nervous?
No.
Yeah.
I
How many
don't let
songs?
nerves affect me. If I could go and give like a speech in front of 150 prisoners,
Yeah.
you know, I can get up and do a verse that I've had memorized for
Yeah.
a month. No idea. I might get nervous. We'll have to find out, right? If I freeze up. My problem used to be is I would drink before I would perform.
Mm-hmm.
And I love to do. I did a lot of open mics, like practicing performances and stuff. And I would either not drink enough and I'd be a little too tense, or I'd drink too much and I'd give a good show, but my lyrics would suffer.
Yeah, I was gonna
So.
say. I mean, you probably play it off so well since you are so fast. But do you ever even fuck up? Like, I'd be like,
I fuck up all the time, but now that I feel like I'm such a perfectionist, like
yeah.
even if I do a verse and like last time when I recorded, I did a verse and Max and my wife were like, that was good, that was a good take. I was like, run it back. It's not right. It's not what I want it to be,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not what it could be. And
Yeah. That's a good attitude. But don't be too hard on yourself now.
well, I mean, I gotta be because nobody else is gonna be,
That's
right?
true.
But I approach music differently now too, so it's not a party. It's not a good time. If I'm gonna do, if I'm gonna record, if I'm in the studio, if I'm gonna perform, it's a sober experience.
Yeah.
So it's something that I know I can be on point with.
Well, for me, I definitely need a drink for this.
It's just juice.
Yeah, that's juice, everyone. With a shot and a half tequila.
If my PO is watching this is just juice.
Wait, you can't drink?
No,
Really?
I'm on parole.
Even drinking though?
No.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, how could they even test you for that though?
Mouth swab. But I'm done. Like, I don't have any more office visits. I don't have
Okay.
any more field visits, home visits, nothing.
Cool.
I'm just waiting for the date, May 16th. Just wait.
Nice. It's gonna be official.
Yeah. Official. We're in some trouble. Some new trouble. Nah, I'm just fine. Just stay out of trouble. Well, thank you very much.
Of
for having me.
course.
I
Thank
greatly
you.
appreciate it.
It was great talking to you and learning so much about you. So
I feel
hopefully
like I
I'll
talked
catch.
way too much.
No, I would rather that be the case because I'm not a very good speaker, and that's actually another reason why I started this, because I'm like, I need to get better at speaking, and why I like stopped smoking before each episode too, because I'm just like,
Yeah, the lights are pretty. Awesome.
But yeah, thank you once again, Levi Deadman. Please check him out May 6th, and maybe party with him May 16th.
Yes. Bring a lighter.
Buy him a drink, give him
Yeah.
a blunt or something. And this is my tradition. I like to clink clink. So,
Let's do it.
all right. Until next time, you guys have a good night. You can reach us at fatalpodcastatx@gmail.com or Instagram at fatalappeal.